kid, and he's in the big leagues with the big dogs. Like,
yep, making big dog deals.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's spending thousands of dollars for inventory. He's got a good setup, a good table, good boxes. Like, dude, he's up next, man. I really feel it.
And talking to a lot of kids in the hobby right now, like, that is someone to emulate.
All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? We are finally back. It's been a long, month you said?
Man, it has been a month, but Cleveland Cards is back for episode number 5.
Coming back at you.
Man, it's been a minute, but I'm happy to be back. What's up, Keith? How we doing tonight?
Dude, I'm fucking great. Can't be any better, bro, honestly.
Cannot complain. There has been a lot going on since the last time we ran a Cleveland Cards episode,
Isn't that crazy in a month span of time that just like how much like we've been shows, running, videos, this, that, like social media stuff that I do and this, and it's been insane.
It has been a wild month. It's kind of crazy to think. I mean, the hobby's kind of slowing down a little bit right now. Prices and stuff are slowing down, but we still got some hot stuff in the hobby. Maybe we should start with that first, talking about Monopoly.
Yeah.
One of the hottest things in the hobby right now. I've been Mr. Monopoly running Target to Target, scooping up as many booster boxes as I can get.
Yeah. Said F them kids.
F them kids, man. The Monopoly is crazy. The hype is still there after a couple of weeks. I'm kind of surprised that the prices are still where they're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, man, with me getting lucky and hitting that first restock of like my Menor Target was insane. And then personally ripping like 4 or 5 of those boxes, they are tough, dude. Like, it's literally one hit per like a box. You know what I mean? Like, so I think
it's such a big chase because in those boxes, like they're retail boxes, but you could hit numbered cards, color blast, just like it's a hobby box.
I know.
So like they're pretty cool to see something like that in retail, and it kind of makes sense that there's some hype behind them for sure.
Yeah, with the numbered stuff you can get out of it. Here, I'm gonna show a card that I hit out of it, but with the numbered stuff and like, dude, the cards are actually fire, honestly.
For sure, and I definitely like to see Panini switching it up, doing something new. Man,
yeah,
that's crazy.
You can't even see it because of the color, but it's a purple Chet.
Out of 125.
No, 149.
149.
But that is insane. That's my best hit so far out of Monopoly. Like, that is fire. I, of course, had to chase them color blasts and all that crazy stuff, of course.
For sure. And our buddy Steve ended up hitting a Paolo black gold numbered to 5. Sold it on eBay for $3,500 for a Monopoly Prism card. Now, my question is are these cards gonna hold their value? One, because it's a game. It's not, a true set. So it kind of has some question to the validity of that. But it's just like, a card selling for $3,500. What if that tanks? A lot of this new stuff tanks really quick. That's a price tag that I couldn't imagine for a Monopoly Prism card.
Yeah, no, that's scary because it's like, okay, do you grade those cards? Do you hold off to sell the hype right now? But at the end of the day, like we talked about, it's still a Prism. It's still his rookie.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's still potential there. It's just like you're in a certain market for people with that card now.
Right, and I think with I pulled the LeBron black logo out of the board game.
Sick.
I think with a card like that, with LeBron being so high, even I thought to myself, like, do I grade it? Do I sell it right now? And I think, LeBron's hot, so that helps for sure in the case of trying to sell it. But
like right now,
these cards might actually go for a decent amount of PSA 10s because there really isn't that many of them. I think there's only 2 black border cards per board game, and the board game's like $40.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think I'm going to send the LeBron off at the $25 level so I can get it back in a couple weeks rather than a long time. And then try and sell it. Hopefully it'll still be in the playoffs.
No. See, a play like that I think is like a sneaky good play. But Monopoly's iconic for one. And for two, it's like, it's crazy. I mean, it's Prism, man. I think it's going to hold the value. I really do. I think it's Prism, and I love where it's going in the hobby. Like, that's
right.
So
that's
cool.
The other side of the coin too. Is that there's this fear that it's going to drop, but what about if it goes up long term? Because this is a short print set. This is something that they are just doing for a little run. I'm not sure if there's going to be more rounds of this retail stuff, but it seems like they're kind of trying to push everything out right now. So who knows? You know what I mean?
So the only thing that's scary is how they're the blaster boxes. I want to wait to see what comes out of the blaster boxes.
I agree.
If it's the same parallels, if it's more or less of something, because right now all we know is like the little boxes in the games. You know, the games you get the black parallels, and the little boxes you can get, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I kind of want to see how they flood it with those, and then go from there, you know what I mean?
I kind of wonder what they're going to do, too, with this retail. Is it going to be kind of like a junkier version of the product, like a watered-down version of the Target product? Because what people might see is that these Target boosters that have the color blast, the numbered stuff, those might shoot up once people realize that, like, those might have been the best part of the set.
True.
You know what I mean?
And we don't even know it yet, so it's like a sneaky little play. Or they might flood the blasters with everything that's in the things and bring the value down a little bit. So you just got to be smart in the hobby, what you want to do.
Right. Something that I've noticed with experience is that something that comes with numbered stuff, the chance to hit case hits and stuff, it does pretty well in the long term. So I think originally I wasn't very... I didn't think it would go up necessarily over time.
You were kind of sleeping on Monopoly.
But now that I'm thinking about it, with the numbered stuff in it, the color blasts in it, it's kind of tougher to see it going down. You know what I mean?
And the rookie class isn't, you know, I mean, the rookie class is pretty solid in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure, there's a lot of
solid guys.
Absolutely. Paolo.
Monster. Chat, you know what I mean? Like, and the numbers they're doing. I mean, look at Top Notch, the Open Prism. They hit a Steph Curry gold. Like, I mean, dude, that thing sold for like over $3,000. I would have never thought that card would have sold for $3,000. I'm sorry.
Well, and what's crazy is that while it's Monopoly Prism, similar parallels are getting similar to Prism comps. You know what I mean? Even though it's Monopoly, you know, so it's
amazing.
It's pretty nuts to see it out of retail, and it's actually something like to look forward to again in the hobby. You know what I mean? Like it kind of gave a little spike that we haven't seen in a long time in the retail format. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. It's been dead. Like the products that have been coming out, the like blasters, and we didn't get Prism Megas, like football. You know what I mean? We didn't get Prism football Megas. We got garbage lately. Don Russ was the only really exciting thing to hit a downtown. And then now finally it's like Monopoly's here. We got something to chase. People are scalping it already.
Yeah. Horrible people.
Who would do such a thing? Who wants to make money?
Unbelievable. Yeah,
wow. God,
losers. They need to get a job.
They really do, man. Like, who would want to make extra money and support their family and their hobby?
Man, Monopoly's been hot like crazy. There's also been some cool new products too, like Contenders Optic. We were talking about a little bit earlier. That's a pretty nice product that came out.
Yeah, I like Contenders Optic. The only thing is just the points, man. They're like, that is insane. How do you...
Oh my gosh.
If you guys check out Top Notch, man, they literally open a whole case. They do case breaks and everything like that. Shout out to them. They hit 7 of the 900 points in one case. It's literally like going viral. Like you got big big guys on Instagram that are sharing that post that he shared because they're like, "What is this, Panini? What are you doing?"
In one case,
dude. 1 case.
Oh, I'd be so sick. Imagine if you were ripping because people rip personal cases. You know what I mean? Can you imagine you were going through a personal case and had 7 or 8 of those?
So I talked to Top Notch about it, and the real reason why people are mad, because some people are happy because a 900 points is like what, $50. So
and they've been throwing new things in the points. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, there was just Steph Curry autos. in the
last
points.
Friday. Yeah,
that's insane. There's never been anything close to that caliber out of points.
But dude, it was like 5,000 points. Adam said.
Dude, I got $5,000 in my balance right now. I'm waiting to spend. That should have been on there. You know what I mean?
That's nuts. Or it was 7,500 or something crazy. Adam said.
I just never know when they drop. Is it Friday every time or what? I
don't know. I'm not 100% on that one.
Yeah. I don't know either. I need to get on that because I got points in my balance I need to redeem.
That's nuts. But even in first off the line, like Top Notch ripped first off the line hobby, and dude, they got hit with like 3 or 4 points out of their 900.
I don't like that at all. First off the line is a premium, and then just to have that much of the product filled with points, it just doesn't even make sense. They're kind of just shorting people. You know what I mean?
The guy Justin said that people are mad because where the points are in the packs is usually your sticker auto. And Brock Purdy is a sticker auto.
Oh.
So they're mad because it kind of cuts their chances on Brock Purdy autos.
Damn.
So I was like, wow, that actually does make like a lot of sense why people would be pissed off, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, it's cool though having like that insider news.
Yeah, right. To be able to see it firsthand, you know what I mean? Get more details on a product. Well, and also it helps us to know not to rip it, really. You know what I mean?
I stayed away from it.
Yeah, I shied away from it too.
A, it was just super expensive, and then B, it's like, I don't know. In my opinion, if you're gonna rip, get in a case break. You got a better chance. Get a good team. Invest a couple $100.
Case break with Top Notch Sports Club.
Right. No shameless plug, but seriously though, because your odds are better though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, dude, you get the Steelers and get a whole case. Dude, look at the Kenny Pickett. They hit 2 Kenny Pickett redemptions, and the one did like $839 on eBay. They just sold it for. I mean, dude, that's insane.
No, for sure. And I think your floor is pretty low getting into a case break. Like, you're going to hit something. You know what I mean? I agree 100%. I think that if you're going to chase hobby, case breaks are the move, like 100%. You're going to end up with something.
Kenny Pickett's been signing his redemptions, and they're going out now. So I was like, nice. That's fire.
That's like, good too, because you don't really see that many Pickett autos out and about. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, even at local shows, we haven't really ran into too much stuff like that.
I mean, which is weird. He's in Phoenix, though, a lot. Phoenix Hobby, which is crazy.
Yeah, but have you seen a lot of stuff like that at shows? I feel like people are just hiding their good shit at shows recently. It's been crazy.
Like, I feel like right now in the market, people don't know what to do, if they want to sell, if they want to hold it till football starts so they can get that extra money. I feel like it's been a weird vibe at shows with, like, dude, I'll go up to a table, I'll see a card, they literally either have it at comps or over comps, and I'm like, hey, I can't pay that, man, can you work with me a little bit? And it's like, dude, they don't want to budge, man. People are like stingy right now.
Well, people forget when the market's good, like it has been for the past few months, people start to get more stingy, you know what I mean? And they forget what it was like just less than a year ago when you couldn't give shit away. You know what I mean? So like, people get in that mindset, and then what happens is that the market starts to go into a slow period now because everyone's been super high on shit, and it's gonna fall a little bit. At least that's my prediction over the next few months. I think we're gonna go through another cycle here before the upcoming season where the market's gonna tank over these next few months.
And I'm totally opposite, dude. I think it's getting more hype. More kids are getting into it. The hobby right now, I feel like with Fanatics and everything going on, like they just dropped that Netflix special with Golden.
Yep.
I haven't watched it yet, but bro, that does so much for the hobby. And then
that's so cool too.
That is
it's really cool.
And then there was an episode with 2 Chainz with like most expensive sport cards on YouTube. That has a huge following. Like, it's just so cool to see like Fanatics I think Fanatics is taking it to another level with social media advertising, and I mean, they got the money to dump into it. I think it's just going to keep going up, man. I'm ready for football season, bro.
I agree with you 100%. And in the fact that I think Fanatics is making the right moves. I think what people underestimate, though, is the amount of time marketing takes to really have effects. You know what I mean? So my market prediction for these next few months isn't necessarily based off of that. It's more just based off the season. You know, you got summer coming up where it's more of like the off season of cards and shows and shit. I've just noticed that typically around this time we kind of go through that cycle. And that's what I think we're about to come into. But I think that it's going to be a 5 to maybe 6% kind of decline from this, because we just had a massive bump over the past few months. You know what I mean?
It's been nuts.
Let's say we're up 10-15% right now. We'll probably go down 6 to 8% over the next few months. But then come football season, especially mid to late football season, like we saw last year, prices last year jumped like crazy during the playoffs. Burrow stuff was absolutely astronomical when he was on his run. Hurt stuff spiked. Herbert stuff was spiking even when he wasn't playing great. It's just like, that season is the season to cash out on your big stuff and to really make some nice moves, because the market is the healthiest at that point. And I think that's going to be the next 6 months, kind of what we're looking at in terms of the market.
I agree. But when it takes that dip, that's when I want to kind of sneak in and invest in Joe Burrow, all these top quarterbacks, just to not go crazy, but just to have them in the pocket for when that comes, to be able to, you know what I mean? Like, just have them, really.
Absolutely, and I think this year is going to be one of the last opportunities to really get some nice Burrow
before they go to
and
the
maybe
moon.
Herbert before it's too untouchable. You know what I mean? Because if you look at a guy like Mahomes, a lot of his good stuff, it's just untouchable at this point. You know what I mean? And I don't think Burrow is going to be able to get to Mahomes status just from what he can do in this next upcoming year. But there's already so much hype around his name. His stuff's already high during the offseason. Like, you can tell that that's a dude who's about to be in outer space price-wise. You know what I mean? Where you're just not going to be able to touch the rookie autos and the stuff like that.
Yeah, it's almost at that point. That's why everybody needs, if you want to invest in these guys, do it now. Find some, snipe them on eBay, get them while you can, because they're going to be like Mahomes, man.
Yeah, I think Burrow especially, this is going to be kind of like the last shot. This offseason is kind of going to be that last shot to really get in at it before the prices are where I think they should be. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, you're right.
You know what I mean? Because I think there's definitely still an opportunity with his prices right now.
I mean, and two, how do you feel like with Deshaun, man? Are you ready for the Cleveland Browns, dude?
Man, Deshaun Watson, it's so tough because if we're talking just talent, that dude could be easily a top 5 QB. And anyone who says differently just hasn't seen him play or is just hating because of what happened with him or whatever. You know what I mean?
But regardless of that, go look at his old footage of him. He is a monster, bro.
He is Mahomes level talent, and I don't say that lightly. That's not like me hyping him up because he's Cleveland. That's from me watching the dude play in 2017, 2018 and seeing what he did on the field. You know what I mean? Dope. But I've been picking up a little bit of Deshaun. That was a good segue for me to show you my recent pickup.
That is
Gold
nasty,
Prism rookie auto out of 5.
That is disgusting.
Ended up paying $1,100 for this thing, man. This is one of my favorite cards in the collection for sure. Just because I think ceiling wise, a gold rookie Prism auto is one of those things where the ceiling is fucking scary.
It is, you don't know where that card can go. That is, and like that Trevor out of 2 you got. I think the ceiling on that is unexpected, like high than you think, Rob. Like,
honestly, I was thinking about it too. Oh, it's not showing.
You gotta move
block
your face.
it up.
Yeah, because it's your face.
Oh, my fault. Still working or no?
There it goes.
All right, Trevor out of 2 auto, regardless of what we're talking about. It's a landscape out of 2 auto. I was actually thinking the same thing because I was looking at like Mahomes rookie autos and stuff, and I know I've been using his as a comparison, and it's not really fair because he's kind of in his own league.
Yeah,
but if you look at what a rookie out of 2 auto, something like his does, we're talking about $20K. So
that's what I mean.
Half of that, you know what I mean, down the line or in the next few years, that is an investment I think really is a no-brainer, and that's why I'm really not in any sort of rush whatsoever to get rid of that card.
And look at how hard it was to obtain that card. Like, that's not what you see at a show every day. Like, we talked about it before. These vendors set up the same stuff. Like, I mean, I get it. Go replenish your inventory. Sell off that shit you've been dragging around for months. I think we talk about this all the time of, like, our local card shows. Like, it's sad that we have to travel to see new inventory, new, you know, like... That's all we want, you know, it's new stuff. I want to be like amazed when I go to a show, like, oh my God, look at all the stuff we picked up. Like, it's getting tougher and then
I don't want to talk smack or put down our local dealers because that's not what I'm here to do
at all.
But I will sit here and say, like, just like you just said, which I think is the greatest plan any of them can do, man. Sell out of the stuff that you've been sitting at. Take a little bit of a loss on some stuff, or don't be afraid to break even. Get rid of stuff that's been sitting in your case, liquidate it, and start to learn what people really want to buy. It's really not hard, guys. Like,
it's not.
And I'm talking to the dealers right now specifically. There's like 5 dudes you really just need to pick up. It's like Burrow, Lawrence, you know, Herbert, Mahomes,
case hits.
like Justin Jefferson, downtowns, kabooms, like this is just the stuff that people want. And I think what happens is dealers get into cards and they're too afraid to take a minor L, or they're too afraid to break even, or I don't care if I sell this, blah blah blah. And that's fine, and that makes sense when we're talking about being business minded in terms of like profit, but in terms of having stuff that people want and keeping the customers happy, having people shop with you, you need to have new stuff, and it needs to be better stuff. There's
100%.
There's just too much stale inventory around us, man. It is. Dude, it's so tiring.
You know what's crazy though? When me and Robert walk into a show, how many people will walk up to Robert and be like, "Can I see what's in your case?" Because they know that Robert goes to different shows and he picks up all kinds of stuff. So they never know what they're gonna get when they open his case, which. I mean, you guys could do the same and have a table full of customers that are digging through your boxes, that are buying, making offers. Like, I don't know, man. If you guys can take our advice, I mean, it's just a little criticism of like what we want to see in the hobby locally. You know, it's nothing bad. Like, just sometimes you gotta move stuff to get in new stuff. You know.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to try, because I think some of these older guys specifically, and again, I don't want to target guys, but I think some of the older guys, they don't want to move into the new stuff because it scares them. But my advice is just to start slow. You know what I mean? It's pretty easy to start to learn a market if you just start with a couple cards. You know what I mean? Like, dip your toes in, start to learn the market a little bit, and then if you're staying away from Modern, you're losing out on at least half the customers now with the way the hobby is. So it doesn't make sense. The dealers would actually do better if they tried to branch out into that stuff. So I suggest, like, locally, anyone in this Northeast Ohio area that's a dealer, like, start branching out, start trying to get that hotter inventory, because that's the stuff that people are looking for right now.
Or another good tip that I think that I've just thought of is, like, when kids come up to your table, please be like, hey, can I see what's in your case? If they're carrying around a Zion case, or they're carrying around a box or anything, I swear to God, that is the biggest thing. What do you got in there? Can I check it out? You want to trade? You want to work something out? When you used to set up, I watched you crush it show after show, bro. But you would get good deals. You would get new cards to put right on the table. Like, it's just a smart thing as a dealer. You should always be open to, like, what do you got in your case? You want to sell anything? And I guarantee that opens the door for that person to be more like likely to even spend money with you, you know. Like, it's a good sales pitch almost, you know.
No, and another good idea too, building off of what you just said, when they're looking in the case, if they want to try and move into some of the newer stuff but it's a little scary for them, they could trade into it, you know what I mean? That would be a great way for a lot of these dealers to move their sale inventory, is to try and trade out of it, and that would also help them avoid the loss that a lot of them are probably worried about on a lot of their stale stuff, you know.
And it keeps everything like fresh, new, you know. That person takes it to that show.
That's the biggest thing. Like, you just need the new stuff. Like, that's what we're really looking for, you know what I mean? Like, and it's obviously not all about us and what we're looking for, but I think in terms of what we buy, that is the truest sense of what the hottest things are in the market, because you and I have learned the market so well that we pretty much only target that stuff, you know what I mean? So we have the eye.
Dude, we're at shows every week. We're buy, selling, and trading on everything. I mean, everywhere, dude. We're on eBay, we're on Whatnot, we're on, I mean, literally soon me and him are gonna be going out of town to different shows, just because we know all the dealers at these shows already. We built relationships with them, like, you know. So I think if they did that, it would help the shows like 100%.
For sure, because something needs to be a little bit different right now, because it's kind of been like, I don't even know how long, you know, the past year or whatever you want to say. We're just kind of, it's the same dudes. Like, it's kind of like copy paste, you know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong though. Like, I respect Greeny for trying to hype up and get a big show in Ohio. Like, I was so excited for that show, bro. Like, I really was. And I know we kind of, like, you know, ranked on him with the $200 a table.
We did a little bit for sure. Which
whatever, I apologize. Deserved. You know what I mean? Right, you know, it was kind of, you know, I think he thought it was going to be bigger than what it was too.
Right.
So that's why he said it there.
And it is unfair to give the criticism without giving the praise, props. You know what I mean? Because I agree that what we want is what he brought, you know what I mean? He just didn't execute to where we can kind of see it. But then again, it's unfair to expect it to pop off the first time. So I think the table price was the main issue. If he would have been a little bit of a different approach on that, it kind of was like, hey, I know this is the first show, it's not going to be as big, let me get a solid set of dealers, and then we could build the show. I think he was just too greedy, and I think that was the issue. And that's not me like trying to put him down or say anything bad about that. I think the idea was great, and I'm super super excited that we have people around us trying to innovate the way that they are,
dude. For Ohio, like, he spent a lot of money on advertising, and like, for sure. He had food trucks. I mean, he really did do his thing, and I respect that. It's like, because who else around Ohio is doing that, Rob? Nobody. I know.
And honestly, like, not even being funny, that's why we've talked about putting on a show with just like almost having set parameters for the dealers. You know what I mean? I think it's a really good idea to almost do like a screening process. Like, what are you bringing in as a dealer? And if I could look at your case and I could tell that it's all wash material, that's stale, that's cold, that's what people don't want, not allowing you to set up. And I think if we had a show almost like that where the dealers were pre-screened in our area, that's an idea that we talked about that I think we should act on, because I think we could really build something special.
No, I think we could too, like man. That. And plus, just with the people we know and like the impact, I think it would be honestly like a really, even if it's a smaller show, but but what people are bringing to it is fire.
Yeah.
And like boxes you want to dig through, like stuff you want to sit there for an hour, and I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
I know. We've been throwing around that idea, but we need to like find somewhere, like actually start hyping it up, advertising.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think over time building something up, and even because here's the thing, you can't have the reason why the Greeny show was a letdown was because of the insanely high expectations that were set with it. So if we came out with a show and we were like, hey, we want to build a show up, the first round we did something small intentionally, it's like there is no way it could be a letdown. If anything, there's only room for it to be, you know what I mean?
If anything, it's a fire-ass trade night.
Exactly. Yeah, right. I mean?
Like, seriously, or we could start doing that where like, hey, we're there. Because there's really no good trade nights around here,
I agree 100%. Where are the trade nights?
Oh my God! Like,
why does no local shop really want to do it? I know, the one in Chagrin.
Yeah, Great Slam or
Grand Slam. They do it. I meant to make their last one. I didn't make it out, so I don't know how that one is. But we need one that's like bigger. You know what I mean? Like if you look
at trying to get over the fence to do it.
Yeah, I know he needs to hop on that.
I think it would be cool, but like he's just worried with like all the wax and like so many people in one space, and of course like it's just bound. People are gonna steal or try to, like. But if we set up like a hall, me and you maybe, and like had our own trade night and promoted it, hyped it up,
I think that would be sick.
I think we could pull some.
Or like before Shipshawana, they have a trade night at the place, and then the next morning is the show. You know what I mean? So even something like that. I think we should definitely put something together like that because we're really looking for just a new taste. You know what I mean? Like something that to switch it up a little bit, because especially around us, it's been just the same shows, same dealers, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You know what I mean? It just gets tiring for sure.
It does. Don't get me wrong. We still get deals. We still work with people.
Of course. And all my dudes that I've made relationships with and that set up, a lot of them, this isn't really about them. It's about the people that I don't really work with because they have all this stale inventory.
But I think it would definitely crush it if we had, maybe if we started with a trade night and then we worked on doing a later show like me and you.
I like it for sure.
I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely,
for
sure.
We're going to be having a trade night.
Stay tuned, right? Discovered here.
Right.
There's a couple other things we got coming up too for the podcast. We're going to have Next Generation Sports Cards on here.
Yeah,
if you guys aren't familiar with him, check out my TikTok and Instagram. I do deals with him all the time on there.
He is a young prodigy.
Young that hustler,
kid,
man.
Dude, I respect it so much because if I was his age when I knew what he knows now, this kid is a kid and he's in the big leagues with the big dogs. Like,
making big dog deals.
Yeah, like I mean, he's spending thousands of dollars for inventory. He's got a good setup, a good table, good boxes. Like, dude, he's up next, man. I really feel it.
And talking to a lot of kids in the hobby right now, like that is someone to emulate doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Starting to learn the market young, starting to get familiar with it. And because of the age, if you're able to start that young and you're able to get your hands on a couple cards that you put up and for the next 5-10 years, like when you're that young and you're able to invest that early, you're just at such an advantage. Dude, so if there's kids out there that are trying to build a business, build a card game, trying to learn it a little bit, go talk to Next Gen, get familiar with him and learn what he's doing as a kid in the hobby because he's doing the right stuff.
I'm going to leave everybody's social media down below in the comments, like Top Notch. I'm going to leave Next Gen. You know what I mean? Just a few people we shouted out because we're going to have him on our podcast and we're going to get his young mindset of like who he's picking up, what he's doing, because he really is, man, that's the future, bro. Like, and I love him.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
He's a young shark, bro, and we help him out. We try to like steer him in the right direction. Like, he's a cool dude, man, with a good head on his shoulders. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm excited to have him on. We're going to have your brother, my uncle Kevin on eventually. That'll be a fun episode.
That would be a
Hopefully
fun
we'll be able to get Anthony on here from Top Notch. Sure. Maybe even Justin too at the same time or something like Justin, that. You know what I
mean? And we're going to be having he's almost done getting the podcast area set up at Top Notch.
That's cool.
That's going to be so cool. If we could film there and throw an episode there, man, stay tuned, guys. We do have
that'd be sweet,
a lot of stuff coming up, man. It's gonna be fire,
I'm super excited for the future. We definitely we slacked a little bit not having a podcast for a month, but doing this one, man, reminded me of how good it feels to do it consistently. We're gonna be on this shit every week for sure, and we're gonna keep it grinding because this was a fun episode.
Dude, this was. What are we? 29 minutes in?
Yeah, we're 30 minutes in. It was pretty solid right there.
Yeah, I think we should. Definitely got to keep this going, man. We got to motivate each other to just jump on and we are. I mean, that's the hobby, bro.
We're Cleveland Cards, baby.
Come on,
man. Love to see it. This is a great episode. I really appreciate all you guys watching. If you made it this far to the end, make sure you sub to my YouTube, Trading Card Investor. Sub to my boys' YouTube, yes sir.
Yeah.
What is it? King of Cards. Is that your @handle on YouTube, or is that a number 2 or no?
No, I don't think so.
All right, King of Cards on YouTube as well. You guys know where we're at on Insta and TikTok as well.
Hit that like button, man. Leave a comment. You know what I mean? How you guys feel about any of the topics we touched. I'll leave the links down below for anybody that wants, anything we talked about. Don't be afraid to reach out, for sure. That was a good episode.
Yeah, and if you guys have any topics you guys want to see covered on future podcasts, if you have any comments about the stuff that we said today, if you guys disagree with us and think that we're idiots, let us know.
Yeah, leave it
we want to know why we're dumbasses, please.
Hey, we'll
so
bring
we can
you
learn
on.
And grow.
We'll bring you on, and we will let you talk your shit too. So
there you go. That'd be a fun segment, honestly. A minute or two.
Hey, whoever wants, leave a comment, man. We'll screen them. We'll look over. Give us a reason why you want to be on our podcast, and we'll definitely see if we can get it going. I think that's a good idea.
Let's go. I think that's cool as hell. This is an awesome episode again. Appreciate all you guys. Cleveland Cards
is out. Let's go.
Yes, sir.